If you've been watching the market lately, you probably noticed something that doesn't even make sense. We've got AI exploding, tech stocks moving, billions pouring into infrastructure, and yet the most important company in the entire ecosystem has gone absolutely nowhere over the past 6 months. Just to give you a little bit of context, this week alone, I've made thousands of dollars swing trading the market, focusing on my favorite setups and stocks in this exact environment. But what is the stock I'm talking about? I'm talking about NVIDIA, the company that's supposed to be running the AI revolution, the company that's worth over $4 trillion, the company powering everything from data centers to machine learning, and its stock has basically been flat for the past 6 months. So the question is this: what does the market know that we don't? Or even more importantly, is this one of the biggest opportunities sitting right in front of us? Because here is the reality on NVIDIA. Most investors right now are completely confused. You've got people saying NVIDIA is overvalued, others saying it's still the best AI play on the planet. And meanwhile, the stock is just sitting there. No breakout, no collapse, just stuck where it is. And that's dangerous because when a stock like this pauses, it usually means one thing: a big move is coming. Now, before we break it all down, before we get to the numbers, the valuation, and what's actually priced in, and what I'm seeing right now, especially when it comes to NVIDIA, is setting something up really interesting. Because when you zoom out, this isn't just about one stock. It's about the future of AI and the revolution, where billions in capital are flowing, and how the market is actually pricing that in. And trust me, most people are looking at right now is completely backwards. So in this video, I'm gonna break it all down: why NVIDIA hasn't moved yet and why that matters. If you haven't already, make sure to click the subscribe button. We're gonna dive into it and also compare AMD and other AI and cybersecurity companies that you need to keep a lookout for. So we're going to start off by watching this quick video on NVIDIA.
Today, as the chip giant kicks off day 2 of its GTC conference in San Jose, joining us this morning in a TMT exclusive is NVIDIA's founder and CEO, Jensen Huang, with our Jim Cramer. Hey, Jim.
Well, thank you, Carl. Jensen, I do want to point out, someone said to me the stock's down 30 cents. Your stock's up 22,000% in the last decade. Should we care about the last half hour?
Well, I guess we all do. You know, our growth is accelerating at a larger scale. That's surprising for people. And the end markets are really growing. You know, we've reached this point in AI called the inflection of inference. And so we've reached the inference inflection. And so, our growth is accelerating. We would love to see everybody enjoy it.
Well, people got a little trapped by the 500 billion to a trillion. And I like that over 2025, 2027. What trapped me was that when we were talking about Michael Dell yesterday, Jim, do you remember when I told you that ChatGPT could be dead? And I said, well, yeah, I do, 10 years ago. And he goes, NemoClaw. He said, NemoClaw, this may be even bigger. I start my morning with NemoClaw. Could you explain to people why this may be what we're thinking about over the next 5 years and not something involving margins over the last 5 minutes?
Well, first of all, I said at the keynote, and I referenced a number I used previously because I want to give everybody a baseline. And so last year I said that about this point that we had $500 billion of high confidence visibility of Blackwell and Rubin. That's it. Obviously our company sells other things.
Right.
We have, CPUs, we have storage processors, we have networking. And so we have all kinds of things that we sell in addition to that. We have $500 billion worth of visibility. And at this point, with another 21 more months to the end of 2027, we already have high confidence visibility of $1 trillion plus of Blackwell and Rubin. Not anything else, just Blackwell and Rubin. And so, we still have 21 more months of new orders coming in. We still have all of the other things that NVIDIA sells. And so I just wanted to give everybody a baseline. The ecosystem needs to know directionally where NVIDIA is going. Now, of course, we plan with a supply chain. We help everybody with their capacity building. We prepare all the technology partners so that we can support $1 trillion worth of Blackwell. And so it's an incredible thing.
You bought Grok in December.
Yeah.
What I heard yesterday, maybe my biggest takeaway, was it's already going to be making you not money, but a huge amount of money, and that's not part of the trillion.
No. Yeah, we started production of Grok version 3. It's a really, really special company, and we're going to add Grok, not to every part. Vera Rubin is so incredible that it's really hard to add value to Barra Rubin. That engine is so incredible. And so, but there's some part of the workload, I think about 25% of the workload, where we could add Grok to it. And so for 25% of the
Wow. I mean, that is absolutely insane. So let's go through that here and what's happening with NVIDIA. Just before we dive into there, let's just look at the fear and greed. So extreme fear is still very high. As we've seen, the VIX has also gone back up. So it is a dicey time for a lot of people. And I will say it's amazing that the market is still holding NVIDIA at basically a great support level. Hasn't done much over the past 6 months, but we're still seeing great levels for NVIDIA, even though market is at 28.30 for the VIX. So that's pretty insane. Let's go ahead and look at the S&P. As you can see, down about 30 cents or 0.3%, excuse me. Apple's up a little bit today. Google down, Microsoft, Meta down a little bit. It seems like AMD is up a little bit. So that's good. And we're also going to discuss Micron and AMD today as well. But what you have to understand, and what Kramer was just talking about there with the CEO of NVIDIA, is so a part of that $1 trillion in revenue target by 2027, that isn't all of the revenue. Like, that is a very conservative estimate of the revenue, which is crazy. It's hard to even wrap your head around it. But they still have other revenue sources that they're going to add into there. Now, another thing he said was 21 months of other orders are possible to add into that revenue. So it might even be above, like it might be like 1.1 trillion, something like that. So you never know what's going to happen with this company, but there's such a positive momentum in it that it seems like people are worried that it's overvalued, but there's so much good news happening around the company. You got to ask yourself, like, is it a wrong time to buy a company if it's such a great company? Like, the fundamentals are. So let's dive into that and kind of go through the growth section as well. So pulling up NVIDIA here on the charts, as you can see, fantastic growth over its lifetime today and over the past 6 months. Very heavy consolidation at the 1 to 180 range, 191, 188 range. As you can see, they've hit all earnings, which are fantastic over the past 7 earnings reports. But more specifically, if you don't know how to do this here, just go to the earnings section and the statements to look here. Their growth is just fantastic. So total revenue growth of about 73% in the past quarter. Gross profit up about 77%, operating income 84%, pre-tax income up 99%. I mean, these are insane numbers for a company that's at such a big scale that NVIDIA is at. EPS, so as you can see, it's at 1.77. So earnings per share, that's up about 95% as well. And then EBITDA here, which is $45 billion, so up about 83%. So when it comes to NVIDIA, I think it's a fantastic buy. I dollar cost average into NVIDIA every single week. It is a smaller amount because I have purchased some more NVIDIA over the year, but I'm still purchasing. Now, let's go ahead and look at AMD here, the charts first, because this is the next one that I think is really, really gonna benefit here. This is another good one. So think of AMD, the biggest competitor to NVIDIA, essentially. So the spillover of NVIDIA's effect is very strong. Think about it like if you worked as a CEO at one of the biggest companies, and because you're the CEO, as the company gets more revenue, you're naturally going to get the chance to earn a lot more in terms of bonuses. And that's kind of what's happening to AMD right now. Other than AMD, there's not a ton of competition here. You can see AMD, especially in 2024, had quite a drawback, but it's been peaking up all the way since. And we've kind of seen these V-shaped curves before. So AMD is obviously coming down. I think it's a great way to sell puts on AMD, especially if we look at their earnings reports. They've only missed one in the past couple of years, but their past earnings, pull this up here, very, very strong as well. So total revenue up about 34%, gross profit 48%, operating income 1.75 billion, up about 60%, and then pre-tax income about 2 billion. So up about 133%. Fantastic income here for the net income. Earnings per share is at 0.93, which is better. And so if you want to obviously put your money at a little bit more of a lower valuation to hopefully get a little more growth, this would definitely be the play. But I think getting both of them is just such a steal. I mean, chips are going nowhere with the AI infrastructure that we're seeing with data centers being built, all the products and services. I just think this is an absolute home run to get into these two. EBITDA 2.5 billion, it's up about 33% there. So if we go back to the chart, I think a lot more of consolidation will happen at this level. I think it'll go down a little bit more to the 170 range, maybe stay around there, maybe go down to the 150s range, and then start really peaking back up. The reason I say that is it's going to test these levels here. So right now we're at the level of 205. Testing 180, very, very possible. And then what we could see is more of a run up to more of the all-time highs and then peaking to around 280, 295, which is kind of where my predictions are for 2026. In terms of puts, I'm not selling puts on this stock this week in particular, because this is more of a dollar cost average down method for AMD just to get better share price. But what a fantastic buy this is. Okay, if we go back to here, let's look at Micron next. Okay, so what is Micron? Is a world-leading American producer of advanced semiconductor memory and storage solutions, specializing in DRAM, NAND, and NOR technologies. This was founded in 1978. And it's based in Boise, Idaho. It is a top big three global memory manufacturer powering AI data centers, automotive, and mobile applications through Micron and Crucial bands. So Micron is another one that has gone through quite the run up, and we'll pull up the charts here. So ticker symbol MU. You can see here, Micron has absolutely shot up to the moon. I mean, just fantastic growth. Now, I'm not buying Micron right now, and here's why. I think Micron is waiting to see what's happening with the economy. Because we're seeing so much demand from AMD and NVIDIA, the prices have obviously gone up because there's a lot more demand. There's not a ton of supply. And so that's going to drive prices up. With MU, I think what's happening right now is we're going to consolidate a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of a drop off. A little bit, obviously, we saw quite a run up here from 130 all the way up to like 480. So very probable that we're going to see a drop off. This doesn't mean this company's bad at all. As you can see, they did great on the past 7 earnings. What I think is going to happen, because this is such a big player in the space mixed in with AMD, NVIDIA, I think this is waiting to see, and investors are waiting as well to see, is the economy going to keep doing good? And if so, that means that the CapEx spend of all these big players are going to, now if there's a pullback, let's say for 2 quarters in a row and we go into a recession, I think Micron is going to get hit hard, really hard. And so I think that's what it hinges on, is waiting to see what is actually happening in the economy. Micron, great stock though, but it's just a perfect player in the perfect time right now. While supplies are low, prices went sky high. Now, if we see the economy dip and potentially go into a recession because of high oil prices, job losses, all that stuff, we could see this stock tank pretty good and then get in at a way better share price. Now, at that point, I'd be looking to get into some leaps on this company for sure. So buying some long call dated out over a year out. But if you look at the previous earnings report and we look at statements here, you can see just fantastic numbers. Total revenue was 23.86 billion. Gross profit was 17.7 billion, up about 500%. Yes, that was 500%. Operating income up about 790%. And then we have here pre-tax income of 16.1 billion, up about 820%. Net income was around 13.8 billion, up about 770%. So you can kind of see like why this stock shot up. It's very obvious that the earnings were through the roof. Fundamentals on the company were great. They were perfectly timed with a perfectly great product. So I am getting into AMD dollar cost averaging, using some puts as well over the next month or two, and I'll let you guys know the alerts on this channel. But if you really want to stretch your money and make quite a bit of money, if Micron pulls back, this will be a fantastic opportunity to get in, because I don't think these numbers can get any better than this, really. Like, there's such strong fundamentals for this company, especially in the last quarter, Q2 of 2026. So this is one that I'm keeping my eye on, and in my private group, I'm going to be giving my trade alerts as well. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the topics we covered, and you want to grow your portfolio, make sure to subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me, and leave a like down below. It shows me that you guys watched the video, you guys listened to it, and YouTube said you might want to watch this video next, so make sure to check that out. Peace out, guys.